Hello. Welcome to the 16th game of the second Roll Plus Bond anniversary stream. We'll be playing A Life Preserved by Emily, or Too Many Feelings 5. This year we are raising money for Native American Rights Fund, an organization that is committed to preserving tribal existence, protecting tribal natural resources, promoting Native American human rights, holding governments accountable to Native Americans, and developing Indian law and educating the public about Indian rights, laws, and issues. You can find out more about the NARF at narf.org, or help us meet our fundraising goal this weekend at tiltify.com/@roll+bond, all spelled out. My name is Weston Humphreys. Any pronouns are great for me. You can find me on Twitter at braverun_WLH, and the games I've written at braverun.itch.io, and my Kickstarter by searching for Habits of the Common House Ghost on Kickstarter or anywhere on the internet. And I'm currently living on unceded Shoshone land. Joining me today to play A Life Preserved is Clouds.
Hello, I'm Clouds. I use he or they pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at The Vicious Pixie, and you can find my games at gamesofabsence.itch.io.
And Blue Rook Rowan.
Yeah. Much like Weston, you can call me Blue Rook or Rowan, but I do have particular pronouns. I use they them pronouns and zay them pronouns. You can find me at indignant_GHD GXD indignant_GXD at Twitter and itch. I have the game that is up later today, Odd Jobs, Long Nights and Cold Mornings, on there, and soon I will have Ghosts in the Neighborhood when I publish it. I am currently living on Aboriginal territories of Salish and Kalispel people. Yep, and that exists and is a thing. And I feel like that's everything. I'm bad at introduction lists.
You did great. We also have Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. Go by he, him pronouns. There's not much on there, but you can find me at Twitter at Mr. Shouty. I also have a itch account, chrisbarsotti.itch.io. Only have a little bit of content, but I'm working on more right now, so you can check that out soon.
Great. And Anthony.
You can find me on Twitter at Fool Inc. And I don't have anything to plug, so just go and buy all the games that were just mentioned.
Great. Cool. Yeah, great. All right. Yeah. So like I said, we're going to be playing A Life Preserved by Emily. And she'll be hosting the next game, which is great. So, okay. So we're going to jump in. So this is a game about a haunted house with a sentient jar of jam in it and the people who visit. So first I'm going to touch on the safety stuff for this game. So this game is a light horror game. It's kind of silly, but it can get dark. So just so you're aware, we have our lines and veils. They're listed. We did those in advance. So as a viewer, you can check those out. And as a player, take a second to read them again, just to make sure we don't get touch on those. So since this is a game that deals with death, occasional body horror, horror movie tropes, and food, albeit in a relatively light manner, treat each other and yourself with respect and compassion. We'll also be using the X card. So if something does come up that anybody is uncomfortable with, just say X into your mic or type it into the chat, anything like that. Just make sure that we know, and we'll do something else. And we'll be taking breaks on about every hour, more or less. So yeah, that's that. As it says in the rules, your safety is more important than any game. So I believe that wholeheartedly. So now we're going to get into characters. To build the Jar of Jam, we consult the following lists for inspiration. So we're going to take turns answering these prompts. We're going to roll or just decide, but mostly rolling is more fun unless we just want to do something different. But anyhow, so the first prompts are what is to find out what the Jar of Jam is made of. Does somebody want to roll a D12 to find out
that.
what we're made of?
Actually, is exclamation roll, right?
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've rolled here. Thank you. We have a 6.
6. Red pepper. Spicy smoky.
Ooh.
All right. I will. Oh, I can do this here. Let me grab a post note.
Stream is the only contact I can have with red pepper jam because I am allergic to red peppers.
Spicy smoky. Right. Whoop. Great. Okay. And then somebody roll a d6 to find out who the Jar of Jam was made by.
I can do that.
No, you go ahead, Phil.
Okay, thank you. That's a 4.
Delicate hands, soft and precise. All right. I should just copy this in here because that's easier.
If the PDF behaves, yeah.
Yeah, if the PDF behaves, we will find out together. Oh, the other thing is I can't. Made by slow hand. Oh, delicate hands. Cool. Worked. Save. All right. And then, okay, yeah, we've got quite a few more still. The jar I was sealed in is, somebody roll another d6.
I'll do that one.
Okay.
If I can spell. 3.
Fractured slightly. Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh, I guess I can do it like this. Yeah. Crack Jar of Jam.
Ooh, scary.
And then affixed to the outside of the jar, there is. Fix the outside of the jar. Somebody else roll.
Can I roll this?
D6. Yes, please.
What's the roll again? Sorry.
Exclamation point. Yeah, and then 1d6.
You have to type out roll.
then there's a space between the 1d6 bit.
I enjoy that I can see which die spots you're used to using.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
You're so close.
It's so hard to explain the exact thing without actually
Hey,
making
there it
Put
is.
it inside the. Yeah, one sec.
Okay, so the date of when I was first made is on the outside. All right. Let's see. Okay. And then one more roll
I can do that.
for this. Cool.
I am putting a thing in chat for reference later. Okay. And is this a D6?
Yep. So D6.
All right. 2.
2. My spot on the cupboard is empty, except for me.
Mm. A lonely spicy jar of jam.
It is. Yeah. Cracked.
So spicy,
Don't worry
It was
about it.
spicy.
so lonely, so cracked.
Mhm.
Make that nice and biggish. Okay. All right. And then a name. If you like, you can think of a name and pronouns for the jar of jam, but it's not necessary. I'm going to think about that. But then let's take some time together. Take some time together. You have made your jar of jam. Let your thoughts marinate and ferment. Now might be a time for a quick break or a snack. Not yet. We did that fast. The jar of jam will be waiting when you get back. I am going to think about the name while we do the next bit.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course. Always.
What was the date of the
Oh,
draft?
yeah. That is also a great question. It's gotta be. I want it to be. So our game is going to be set in a kind of near future. Well, I guess we'll decide how near future, but later than now. But it would be cool if the jar of jam. I guess it could be made in like current times. What if it was made in like 2020?
Quarantine jam.
It's a quarantine jam.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh.
We all
Something
got
just
into stuff.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly.
got into jam.
Yeah. So this has
And
got to be,
I
I think it's a fall jam, like a good like September 2020 jam.
The only jar they
Yep.
made.
Uh-huh.
I did not know that. Hold on. I am sharing what I've said. I was looking at pepper varieties, and apparently there's a Cascabel chili.
Ooh.
Ah.
Ooh.
And I was audibly distracted.
And also a Komodo dragon, apparently.
That was
Yeah,
that was what I was
That's a type
laughing
of
at.
pepper.
Thanks, Google.
2020. Cool. That was a good question. Okay, I'll stick the name in there once I come up with it. Okay, so just some quick notes on the game. Skip that. As you play, remember, only the visitors can describe the house itself, what's outside it, the rooms within, and the rooms within. And then only the jar of jam can describe who else is in the house and items within it. After you've all answered questions, you'll answer some questions together. Time will pass. The jar of jam will answer a prompt. Blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah. So normally this game has 3 rounds, but we're jumping to the second one because we're cool like that. All right. Yeah. So if everybody wants to jump down to page 12, round 2, let's get into it. So this is where we come up with who the visitors are. So it's sometime in the future. When exactly is up to us. You are in a horror movie. What kind of horror movie is up to the dice and you? Yeah, so now somebody gets to roll a d6 to find out what kind of people you are.
I'm so excited
And
to
just
find out what kind of people we
so
are.
folks know, the potential options here are androids fleeing their maker, aliens, you and your doppelgangers, mech pilots looking for a place to retire, space eldritch horrors looking to size up the competition, or maybe find love. And the last option there is space pirates. These are all very good, and I'm excited to find out what happens here.
I can make that roll.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, that is a 3.
I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping
You and your
for this one.
doppelgangers. So only one of you has to describe what you look like. Great. All right. So, perfect. Okay. So now, give your characters names and pronouns. Doug 1, Doug 2, Doug 3, Doug 4. I'm just kidding. You can do what you want. But
You could be doppelgangers and then invent your own names. And then some of us could just
Yeah.
be like, I'm Doug 2.
yeah.
I'm just Doug Prime.
So you're Doug? No. Just Doug. Can't leave it out. Okay, so don't spend too much time fleshing them out. Just think about why you are here together, why you're going to into this house. If you like, here are the questions. Here are these questions. What draws you here? Are you afraid? What did you lose on your way here? Yeah, so make some little notes. Pull up a sticky note and fill it out together, or I don't know. Just yeah, this is your time.
I am so excited. Okay, sticky notes. Gonna do what I always do, be the blue sticky note.
I'm going to add to the visitors thing here and just say, we keep the doppelganger bit. You are all, you and your doppelgangers.
I'm sitting so hard on a song right now.
My text box is so big.
Oh.
I do have to ask if we're in a band.
We are.
Should.
Well, now we are,
should
yeah.
totally start a band.
Excellent. Good. Yeah.
Doug and the doppelgangers.
Are we Doug now? Okay, but Dilly. Dilly's a name that just happened. Okay, also, I need to just share because this name generator apparently invented another game that's been played on this server. Rank Ruckus. It was very fun, and it's just like, strongly recommended you use names from here. And I'm like, I'm very bad at name generators. But I became a Rear Admiral Prince because this name generator existed. Because and then someone was like, oh, Prince is definitely a first name here. And I'm like, but it doesn't have to be. And then it wasn't.
And then it wasn't.
Mamantha is a name. Okay, I'm going to
Sure is.
Oh, there's a lot of variations for Amelia.
Mhm.
So that's what I was searching for. I was like, names that have lots of variations.
Oh yeah, there's Bumantha
Ooh.
and Mumantha just on this one page.
Oh, nice. Yeah, for like Amelia though, it's like, oh, Millie, Mel, Melanie, Amy, Melina, Mila,
Yeah,
Leah,
it could be a
Mia.
Mel. One of us could be a Mel. That'd be a fun way to. A name that has a bunch of nicknames and ways to be. Yeah.
Alternatively, we could anagram one of the names and put X's randomly in it.
That is also true.
X.
Or extra vowels.
I'm
No,
Melanie.
Yeah.
One of, I mean, it's far in the future, so I mean, you can always go back to your past and see all of the XX underscore Melly underscore XX 420, like the third.
The third. That's great. Very good. Yeah. Cool. And also, just because you're doppelgangers doesn't mean you all have to have the same pronouns or anything either.
Oh, true, yeah,
Just
No, of course.
very true.
I think I have pronouns. Mostly just because tendencies. I often have pronouns. That sounds silly, but
Learning how this sticky note works.
it's weird. And cannot put in line breaks where you want them to be, but
Yeah, okay, thank you. I was like, are there line breaks?
Mhm.
There aren't. How did you do that? Did you just? hit the
I just
space
put
bar
in
a bunch of
underscores, and I'm just getting.
times?
through.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
It's like I didn't think there was a way to do that.
I think I'm just gonna go with Mel because no, I won't. I'm gonna go with Ames from Amelia.
Ames. Great. Uh-huh.
I do not think I am the original, or at least I'm not any of the doppelgangers who think they're the original.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, and this does say doppelgangers and not actually clones. I mean, we can do so. It could just be like
would
4
put
people
3
that
Ls
happen to
in.
look alike.
There are a lot of ways you get doppelgangers. Wolf
There are.
359 exists. Wow. Wolf 359, cool podcast. There might be doppelgangers.
Okay. Oh, looks like everybody has names, more or
Is
less.
the name, or is that like a leave blank spaces?
She doesn't know her name.
Okay, that's valid.
Oh, great. Cool. All right.
We'll respond to Hum.
So, okay, great. So now, let's see. So these are optional questions, but let's look at them. So, what draws you here? Are you afraid? What did you lose on your way here? How about everybody answers one of them? Pick one of them to say for your character.
These 3?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just remove some of these.
We do also have to say which instruments we play, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Ames is either percussion or vocals. I'm gonna go with percussion.
Melly is definitely a guitar player.
I'll go with vocals because I sing on stream anyway, so it's probably going to happen at some point.
Hum is an expert body percussionist.
Yes.
Wonderful. Ham boning. All right. Okay. Yeah. So now answer these questions. Let's just go in the intro order. So 4. One of these.
I am drawn here by the inexorable gravity of the others. I have no choice.
Oh, good. Cool. And Ames.
I wasn't drawn here so much as I charged in without thinking because I am curious.
Wonderful. And
Hum lost their memory on the way, but something seems familiar here.
Oh.
Cool. And Melly.
Melly on the way lost her favorite Keytar pick, and yes, this is the future. So now there's Keytar picks. Don't think about it.
Good. Keytar pick sounds like a finger. All right, so each. All right, so that now each player name one detail about the area the house is in. And then there's some optional prompts below, like is it in a town, city, or village? What kind of weather? What's the geography like? What season is it? What time of day? Are there paths or roads, if any? Or what kind? Yeah, so the area the house is in, and then we'll do details about the house itself. Yeah.
I have a detail.
Go ahead. Good.
This is actually from a recurring nightmare of mine, but the house is in an island of a sea of wet cement that you can sink into.
That's a power.
Ooh. Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
for this gift.
I will take notes.
I have an idea for the weather. Because like in a horror movie, it's always like a dark and stormy night, right? So I would like to propose mizzle as the weather. Basically, we're in England.
I was about to say, I was like, oh, England. Okay, I got you.
Mizzle. So that's like foggy, drippy, not actually rain, but technically rain.
Yeah, the worst kind of weather.
Oh, we're in a PlayStation 1 game. Awesome. Like, I can't draw distance because we don't have enough power. Well, I guess it's foggy outside.
This is one of the first images that comes up. I put that in chat. It's just like a drippy windshield. Mizzle is good.
Then going on with that, I think it's like a hillside.
Oh, great! So it's an island that's a hill.
Single
and
hill.
It's wet cement all the way up. Good.
I think there is a town at the bottom of the hill, and Ames asked several different people about the house on the hill, and everyone looked at Ames like they were crazy, and asked him, like, what house? There's nothing on that hill. And yeah, ominous vibes.
There is no house on the haunted hill.
Uh-huh. Is the house ominous, or is everyone pretending it's not there? Who knows? Invisible, or what? And that is part of why I charged into the house, because, well, now I'm more curious.
Spooky, it's a big windshield.
Yeah, so like the island starts out firm, but the farther up the hill you get, the more cementy it is.
Oh, that
creepy.
sounds accurate and terrifying.
Yep, good. All right, so everybody gave one. Okay, cool. I just combined some of them into sentences. Okay, great.
That's good. We only have so much space.
Yep. Okay. All right. And next is each player name one detail about the house.
Hey.
color, size, style, the name, materials, entryway, any of that kind of stuff. And next, you'll be thinking about a rumor about the house, naming a rumor, and I, as the Jar Jam, will pick one to be true.
I have an idea for materials, and then we could loop back around, unless someone else wants to go first.
Go for it.
This is the future. I think part of what's interesting is there are these really large, broad wooden beams in a lot of the structure. I think they're more like vertical supports and like aspects of a much more modern design. But wood, who uses wood for building anymore? This house must be old. Yeah.
I think I have a name, or rather, it's a lack of a name, as in the place where there clearly was a sign is just that, like when you put something on a wall long enough and sun has kind of like time has passed and weather effects have just changed the back, you just see like an outline of where there would be a sign that would have said a name of the manor or the house or.
Okay. Cool.
So like purposely.
So there's just a menacing blank sign.
Yes.
I have an idea for size. I'm imagining it being 7 stories tall, which makes people not knowing about it seem weirder.
I was also going to add it's lime green. I don't know why people haven't noticed this thing.
Yeah. Boop. The house is lime green. 7 stories tall. Made with broad wooden beams and ancient material. Blank sign. Here we go. Good enough. Cool. Great. Okay. Let's see. All right. Next is. Oh, yeah. Everybody create a rumor about the house. We don't have to jot these down unless you can find a spot for it. But yeah. And then I'll declare if one rumor is true or not. The rest may be true depending on how the story goes. Yep. Yeah. So rumors.
It gains 1 story every 5 years and loses a story every 20.
That's very good.
Anybody else have one on hand? It can be anything.
Yeah. Is it cheating to return to my comment about the town that the rumor is there is no house? No.
Okay, here's a rumor. If you ever speak about the house, something in your house will go wrong or break.
Missing?
I like that better. Actually, yeah, it's missing. Straight up gone.
If yours goes missing. All right. 3 of 4.
When things go missing, in general, when people lose things and whatnot, I don't know how this rumor comes about when you're not allowed to talk about the house, but there's probably a way that you can talk about the house without talking about the house.
Oh, there's got to be an
No, the rumor. Things that are lost are found on the hill.
Things that are lost are found on the hill.
Can be found on the hill. There, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
In the cement.
Yeah.
A pack of magicians lives on the hill.
Pack of magicians? What you said?
Pack of magicians. I love that.
Plagued by a pack of feral magicians.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I have to pick one that's true or not true. And the rest of them may or may not be. Okay. When can we make the most interesting? It's going to be number 2. If you ever speak about the house, something of yours goes missing. Yep. Definitely true. Other ones might be. Okay.
Was it Melly that did most of the question asking then? Or first pointed at the house and was like, hey, there's a house up there?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's
Key
that's good.
Targon. Key tar pick.
Oh, that's why we're going up the hill.
Yeah.
But like, and like I like how we have like a house that cannot be named. Since like, I mean, in many a time and many an era, there are like going back to like Greek time, like there are reasons why there are multiple names for like god and goddesses, because you weren't supposed to speak the certain name, so like a different name was given to them, and then that name became a name after a while.
Right. Yeah. and then you couldn't say that one.
Yep.
They caught on. All right. So okay. So I'm gonna do just a little more setup, and then we're in it, and we'll take a break before we start with that side of stuff. So okay. So the jar of jam. That's me. Has a little more to figure out. So I've been here a while. How long is up to me? Quite a while, a long time. And I am in a surreal slice of life episode. What kind is up to me? I'm gonna roll for these real quick just to make it speedy. Am I in my thing? Okay, I am. All right. Roll 1d6. All right, so I am sharing someone else's secret. Let me get back over here. Jar of jam. Oh, I am out of space for my jar of jam. Well, you know what? I'm going to stick it in here. The jar of jam is sharing someone else's secret. That's interesting. A secret. I have to figure out what that means at some point. Okay, and I know choose to roll a die twice. Roll 2d6. I got a 3 twice. That's no good. Roll. Roll 1d. And a 4. 3 and a 4. I know. Oh, okay. Yeah. The AI program keeping the house running, good at cleaning, better at spreading gossip, and a wriggling mass in a glass case. Isn't that charming?
I love it. I love them already.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pop those in real quick. I know. Boop. And wriggling mass in a glass case. My best friend. All right. Okay. Wonderful. Make that bigger. Not that big. Actually, I'll just move this down. You don't need to see my face the whole time, I guess.
I don't have a face. I'm a jar of jam now.
Yeah. I am one with the jar of jam. And I believe that the visitors are roll 1d6.
Right.
1. I believe that the visitors need to fend for themselves. Good. All right.
He did.
Good. Okay. So, all right. So the next bit is when you show up at the house and whatnot. So let's take, it's a little earlier than an hour, but do you guys want to take a break right now? Or do you want to jump in for a bit and then we could take a break before you start rolling to encounter stuff?
Yeah, I think this is a good beat place to,
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. That's what I was thinking.
It's like 7-minute break, 10-minute break.
Yeah. Come back at 50.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do
Alright.
that. Cool. All right. See you in a few.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And we're back. So the first thing we're going to do now is the visitors enter the house. Describe what the rooms look like and how you feel navigating the house. If you'd like, do some light role playing and scene setting to establish the atmosphere and what your characters are up to. Use your character creation and house creation prompts to guide you. So I'm going to just stay quiet here for a little bit as you do your initial exploring. I guess like I'll tell you what is in rooms if you want me to, but initial things, feel free to kind of establish stuff, and I'll create surprises as you go.
Which door do we come in through?
And you can describe kind of your approach. Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
You can describe your approach too, since it gets all weird and cementy. If you want to start there, and then kind of lead into the inside of the house. Yeah, and the door that you go in through, and all that good stuff.
No, is it better to charge through concrete, or is that how you get trapped? I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I saw a media about quicksand.
I think you're supposed to move through quicksand slowly, but I've never lived anywhere that was really relevant.
I just
I'm
want
also
Princess
not sure.
Bride.
Also, it's the future.
It's
We can have
quick
like hover boosts or something. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Do quicksand rules apply to that?
To this cement, maybe. Ames has a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Gonna put that in my character sheet.
Hum crawls through the cement because she's trying to be slow.
Oh.
Melly is telling everybody that it's okay that we don't have to go. That she can find a new guitar pick. And then scurries up as everybody just keeps forward.
I think for strolls resolutely through the concrete up to about their waist, and then is like, help.
Good.
Hum crawls
Mistakes
back
are
to the
made.
floor and helps pull it back.
Thank you.
I think the wet cement, is just like slowly changing colors as you traverse it.
Melly's now
Cool.
just running forward to join Ames.
All right. So you get to the front of the house, this 7-story lime green wooden house. 3/4 of you are covered in cement. Now what?
We can't describe objects, right?
Feel free. I'll give you some license, but like as the game goes on, I'll be doing more and more of that. But as you walk in, you definitely can.
I feel like there's an extremely long entryway where like there's a lot of opportunity to like rub off cement on the welcome mat.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think as you're doing that, you may or may not notice this, but there's like these little panels like in the wall that keep popping open behind you and like sweeping up the cement. Like there's like 2 arms, one from each side, and one is holding a little hand broom and the other is holding a little dustbin. And it's just sweeping the cement that you drop off into the dustbin. and then they disappear, and then they come out of other panels, and it's just like that all behind you. It's not a super efficient way of doing it.
Is it one of those things that happens beyond our perception, or do we notice this? I've watched 2 horror movies.
Yeah, right. You've watched 2. Yeah. So I would say you don't notice it.
Okay.
Because you're awestruck by the lime green wooden house.
That works for me.
And you're covered in cement.
Love to be loud and oblivious.
It's the best way to be in a horror film.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you've got a long hallway with a long rug. I imagine there's like lots of little stands with like vases and, bust portraits. And then there's like these big pictures hanging on the wall. Some of them are just like extravagant portraits, and some of them are just kind of they seem like they should be in the same style, but the like face is just like a black pit, stuff like that.
Cool.
Terrifying. I love it.
I love it, but Melly is not loving it. She's definitely like holding like the shirt of Ames, like just following.
I think you're holding my shirt with one hand, and I'm holding your hand with your other hand.
Aw.
Good. Hasn't noticed.
Charge forward and also protect you. You followed me into this mess. Thank you.
Hum approaches the portrait and then presses her face extremely close to the empty face.
Oh, good. Okay. I think you just I think when you do that, you just hear, "Oh, you're pretty."
Oh no.
Gasps.
Wait, do we call you Hum?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hum, what was that?
They talk to me.
What did they say?
I'm pretty.
You are!
Oh, okay, I can remember.
I will remind you.
Should we be worried about this?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to talk to strangers, but I don't remember if they said anything about strangers talking to you.
She whispers at the portrait.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to talk to you.
There's just like a distant like laughing. Cool. Which one of you crawled through the mud? Through the cement?
Melly, I believe.
Hum crawled through the cement.
Melly.
Oh, it was Hum.
Hum crawled through the cement. Okay. Yeah, so before the laughing dies off, these robot arms start brushing all the cement off of you into a dustbin. What do you do?
Does this happen to me as well?
Not yet. There's only one pair of robot arms. What do you do when robot arms start brushing the cement off you?
Jump away. Maybe run down a hall, I think. She's going to run and take a left into another room.
Okay.
Is completely chartreuse.
Okay. I'll let you describe the room a little bit more here in a second. I don't think the arms follow you. I think they just move on to 4 because because it's right there, and just starts brushing 4 off. What does 4 do?
This is convenient but discomforting. I think it
So
just
you
kind of
bear it?
stands perfectly still. And it's just like, I guess this is happening.
Nice.
You say that?
So we get like a shot of your face just kind of grimacing a little bit, and then
Face completely impassive.
impassive. Okay, perfect. Good. The other 2 of you in the hall, what do you do when Hum starts running off? Do you notice the robot arms? Like, what do you do?
I think Ames doesn't notice the robot arms for Hum running off and follows after Hum.
Okay.
Yeah, Melly. Well, Melly is holding on to aim, so she is now following.
Okay. Okay, great. So 4 is all by itself, getting brushed off by robot arms, and everybody else is chasing Hum. Great. Tell us what this room looks like. You said it's all chartreuse. But what kind of room is it?
It looks like a
What's
ballroom.
its apparent function?
So there's like a mezzanine, and then
So it's
like
a big room.
a big empty floor that's like very slick, like tile, but not like slippery.
Shiny.
And there's like this kind of like very intricate cathedral-like ceiling to it as well.
Ooh.
Good. Cool. Yeah, I think it's like mostly empty. I think. Yeah, so I think you're on the first floor, right? And I think this ceiling goes all the way up to the 7th. You know, it's just like it's an extremely tall ceiling. I think it's painted in such a way that it like has like kind of like an almost like 3D effect like coming towards you, you know? Like there's figures painted along the sides and upwards, but the way that they're painted kind of accounts for the distance going up. So like, you know, as it goes up, they're painted bigger so that they all appear kind of like the same size coming down. Yeah. Good. Okay. So we kind of have everybody situated in spots. I don't think there's anything super weird happening in that room right now, quite yet. So let's do this. So visitors, once you've begun exploring and feel comfortable escalating things, so this is kind of up to you, but I'm also kind of initiating it. It's time for a roll to happen. Each player selects one of the following roll to whatever prompts, and players can use the same prompts, but be sure to keep your answers distinct and character driven. And then me, as the Jar of Jam, can suggest and describe who the visitors encounter, what they look like, how the air changes in their presence, but ultimately it's up to the visitors to make their choices. Okay, so there's several different roll to encounter tables here. I'll just read them. Oh, no, they're all just kind of different. Roll to encounter, roll to find, roll to lose. Yes, there are those 3. And then I have 3 tokens. Is there a cool way to... I'll just do this. Well, I'll figure that out in a second. But I have 3 tokens I can spend to have a conversation with one of my contacts. And then one of you will play them when I do that. I can spend a token to indirectly hinder my enemies when they're at their strongest, or indirectly help the visitors find their way. Oh, nice. Thank you. Or allow the visitors to break from the action by cutting away to my own little scene. And then once you all have picked a prompt, you'll flip a coin to see if you find the jar of jam, and then, and so on and so on. Okay, we'll get to that when we get to it. So, all right. And probably what we'll do, depending on what time looks like, you just might end up rolling more than once, or we'll just like continue those scenes for a while, kind of a thing. But yeah, right. Does anybody want to roll right now, or does the ballroom crew want to do some more exploring before you roll?
I can roll, but I am also down to explore.
Okay.
Rolling is page
17. Actually, it starts on 16.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. Gonna roll 86.
Mm-hmm. Pick which table you want first, though.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So there's roll to encounter, which is exciting. I mean, they're all great. Roll to find,
lose.
Or roll to lose.
I think I'm gonna roll to encounter because some of these are some big vibes, and one of them is going to immediately demand I know a lot about aim. We'll see. Play to find out. Discover. 3. An old film projector, and possibly playing and playing and playing. Why can't you look away?
Okay, great.
The jar of jam describes the film projector. The visitors answer.
Yeah. So I don't think this is in the ballroom. I think there's a room adjacent, and I think you just hear it, right? Like the kind of whir of a film projector.
Crackling audio that you kind of get on good old film.
Yeah, but it's like it's indistinct.
Yeah.
So I think it that sound draws you in. I don't know if the other 2 in the ballroom follow you in or not. It's up to them, obviously. So
Melly's still holding on, because if Melly let go of me, I would let go of Melly and be like, that's cool. I'm not gonna drag you around. I was holding on to hand for emotional support.
I think at this point, Melly's for plot conveniences has let go of your hand. I don't think any of us know if that was on purpose or not until my roll.
All right.
Okay, great. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so and the ballroom is like big. It's like decorated, and it's got chairs kind of lining it, but the floor space is empty. Okay, so you walk into this room, and it is it's fairly small. I guess you get to describe the room. You describe the room, and then I'll describe the stuff.
Okay, so I have a restored theater in my hometown. It's called the Roxy. Like, they recently redid the fronting to be much more like the old name sign, and the boards where like you put up the letters to be like what movies are gonna play. And it's got like the architecture is really interesting, but like what I'm thinking of is like neoclassical in a way. Like, oh, there's like these plaster arches, and there's like I think scrolling or something, but there's also just very clean, polished like silver or like aluminum trim, as opposed to like maybe like more of the like brass and brown and red that you'd see in an original older theater. I think it's lots of dark blues.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I don't know if these curtains would actually extend to cover whatever the screen is, that whatever the projector is projecting onto, but there are small like velvet panels on the side that look like they're pushed aside, but I don't think there's actually enough fabric for them to close. It's for the affect of like stage curtains.
Absolutely. I know exactly
I think
what
they're
you're
like a
talking
black velvet.
about. Oh, I love that. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's like one of those rooms that's like slanted down like an actual like movie theater. So you walk in, and as you do, like, so you see you see the big screen, there's a film currently playing on it, and I think it's like it's not black and white, it's like a Technicolor film. So it's been recolored. And it's just, the shot is of, it's of a doorway in some kind of fancy house. And as you walk in and you see the shot, a character, a tall, like classically handsome guy in a nice suit, walks in through the door on the screen, and as you move in the theater, his movements mirror yours. What do you do? Actually, I'm gonna cut off right there, and we'll move to anybody else who wants to roll. Anybody who's ready to roll.
I can roll.
We'll come back to that. Okay. So you've got the 3 tables you could roll on. I guess they're not really tables, but lists.
I'll be rolling to encounter.
Yeah. It's a good one.
And I totally didn't just roll a 1d3 to do that. To pick.
That's good.
We'll just re-roll that. Because rolling to 3 doesn't really make a lot of sense right now. And getting the projector, it's another projector.
Yeah.
This mansion has more than one theater.
How did I roll another 3? Okay, here we go. 6.
Okay.
Only 3s and 6s allowed.
Okay, great. So 6 is the notes of a disgraced scientist scrawled in a dark liquid. Do you read them, allowing the letters to seep into your body? Or do you burn them, never to learn this forbidden knowledge? Describe where you find this and just kind of like what it looks like, what the room looks like, and then and then answer if you burn it or read it, and then I'll jump in.
I think what ended up happening was like Melly was in her own world, and then like kind of snaps out of it, and like is in this kind of, it's a library more or less.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah, it looks more like
kind of black out and show.
Yeah, like it's but she's like in the middle of it, and it looks like it's obviously this big giant library with rows and rows of books, multiple tables, despite the fact this is a mansion and not a an actual like
Mm.
like study or like community center. Like there's no reason why there should be like 6 tables. There really only should be like 2, like tops.
Sure.
But of course, because this is a movie. And yeah, there's like, I think the note's just on like the farthest table. So so she like just kind of walks almost on her, like without really thinking about it, to the note. And let me see what happens. So she, probably against her own natural tendency to run away, is kind of almost compelled to read the note.
Okay,
So
great.
she's reading a note. What's the note say? And
I suppose. I think, and I don't know. Well, I think here's kind of what we do see is we see this kind of elongated figure, just in like, has like a button-up shirt, but it's the sleeves are rolled up, but it and just like these black slacks, and but also wearing like heavy boots, and they've got round glasses on that are always reflecting light. Can't see their eyes, and they're just way too tall. And I think, like, from the perspective of the camera, Melly doesn't see this figure, but it is, or they are holding the note like with you. So yeah, and I think we'll, as you're reading it, we'll cut to somebody else. So we'll just set everybody up for spooky stuff, and we'll right back around. All right, who wants to roll next? We've got 4 and Hum.
Can I roll to find something?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're being brushed off. I'll say you're like mostly like clean, and now roll to find something.
When the robotic arms finish and presumably retract into the wall, 4 thanks them politely.
That one of the hands comes out and just like gives a thumbs up, and then retracts again.
I'm glad somebody's having fun.
I find the truth.
What?
Wow.
What an amazing prompt.
Okay. So everybody ran down the hall and turned left. I think so one hand came out and gave you a thumbs up. I think the other one, or actually a panel in the ceiling opens up. And I'm kind of picturing these hands as like almost like Dr. Seuss-y kind of like robo hands, you know? Like they're just kind of on long poles that have lots of joints, you know, but they're kind of goofy looking, you know, like it's probably got like, you know, a white glove on it and everything.
Like Animaniacs.
But yeah.
Incredible.
So I think it like reaches down and like it kind of nudges you, and then like reaches for your hand, but like gently. It's not being aggressive.
I think
and like it's
Floor
trying
visibly
to like hold your
struggles,
hand.
because like I meant the gravity of the others very literally. But
Mhm.
I think it takes the hand.
Okay. and everybody else went left into this big ballroom. And this hand is actually on a rail up top, and it guides you to the right. And actually, yeah, so you describe rooms. What does this room look like? Or it could be like a courtyard outside. It can be anything.
I think it is a greenhouse.
That's nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Do you have some?
I think it is perfect inside, but the roof is cracked.
Okay. So there's just like lots of plants, and they all look really healthy. And in fact, maybe you see like, I think there's like some hovering like little robot buds that are just like watering the plants, and like one like doing some pruning, one like that's like harvesting some apples, and they're like, I think they're vaguely like ladybug shaped. They're just kind of hovering around, taking care of the greenhouse. Yeah, let's see. You discover the truth, huh? You find the truth.
What is?
I think, yeah. Okay. So the greenhouse is really overgrown. Like, I mean, not overgrown, but there's just like lots of plants. Like you can't see through the whole thing at once. And so the hand is guiding you along, and you come through, and there's this. What is it? There's just this old woman, and she's what is she doing? I think she's repotting a plant that had gotten too big for the pot it was in. And she looks up at you, and her eyes shine bright. So I'm picturing like a little old lady, plump and wearing I guess kind of like a blue work dress and like a brown apron, and with like white curly hair, and but her eyes shine, like they kind of glow just a little bit, and she smiles warmly at you and just says, "Oh, hello. It's been a long time since anyone has visited my greenhouse." And like, I think the hand leads you closer, and that's where that fades for the moment. So now, you're alone in a ballroom.
Oh boy. I think I'm also going to roll to find something.
Okay.
I have to do another one.
Okay.
How is Discord doing this to us so often now?
3s and 6s only.
Are you kidding me?
We're playing a haunted game. Okay, I'm gonna roll, and then I'm gonna see what I get.
I think what I'm going to do
Oh my
is
goodness.
I got a 5.
Really,
Okay, there it
Hummin's
is.
really worried. I'm gonna do with a 5, but I'm also gonna go with what the game wants me to do, and I'm gonna go find 4 because I think that's what I need to do. So like,
No, I think
suddenly
you just get a
remembers
different
that-
truth.
What? Oh, I could do that. Different truth, but yeah,
I think you're going to get a different truth.
Hum leaves the ballroom back
You
where
could
she
set
came
out to
from
find.
to look for
Two things
4.
can be true.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you end up, though? What's the room you end up in? I imagine this hallway has lots of rooms off of it.
I think
it's a long hallway.
Yeah, I think what Hum does differently is she goes up to the mezzanine of the ballroom and then traces it back. So she's at like a second level of a different room above where the hallway was. She expected to be able to get back to the mezzanine, but that's not the case.
Right. Okay. So are you in a different hall or are you in a room?
Yeah, I think there's a different hall that looks identical to the one in the floor below, but then she follows it into the room that would be above the greenhouse, but is actually just a bar.
It's a bar?
Yeah, so there's like leather stools and like some crazy lights and like a like a bar and then a back bar and random bottles that are just full of like colorful liquid.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And yeah, so in a place like this, you would expect it to be like dusty and, maybe some spider webs between the bottles or something like that. But everything is like pristine. What do you do? Like, so you walk in, there's a bar, everything's clean, there's bar stools. What do you do initially? I think the room just like, there's not like a ghost right there or anything. It's just an empty room for right now.
I think looks for a menu.
Great. So you go up to the bar?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think as you approach the bar, you can hear like I guess just like stuff getting like kind of shuffled around like below it. Yeah. So do you peek over the bar?
Yeah. Hum peeks over the bar and it's like, 4? Are you down there?
And this
4.
Let's see. It's a this just a robotic bartender stands up and it has like a unicorn head, but the rest of it is like a tux, but it's it's all metal, but it's painted like a tux, and it stands up and just says, welcome to the bar. What can I get for you?
Hello. I didn't see you there. I'm looking for my sibling 4.
It just kind of looks around, glances back and forth, and then says, I don't see her. I don't see anybody else. It's just you and me. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, I guess what do you have?
Anything your mind can think of, but here is our menu. They pull out this like laminated single sheet menu. And I think it's like
Do you have Melly's guitar pick?
who?
Melly,
Oh,
my
wait.
sibling, my other sibling.
Hmm. I recommend the fried pickles. It pairs nicely with a gin and tonic.
Okay, I'll get that.
Wonderful. And I think the bar or the back of the bar with all the bottles and stuff just kind of parts like a hidden doorway in a bookshelf, and there's and they disappear back there. You can just hear some like clanking and things like that. Okay. So I have to figure out what the truth is. What does that mean? Great. Okay. Let's jump back to blue.
All right. Fidgeting with that text box. All right. So I had a thought, and then I wrote it down because I knew I would need that. And then my friend sent me supportive hug gifts. Okay, there it is. Ames steps off his hoverboard, moving toward the wall the projection is cast onto. His hoverboard drifts a few inches back in the opposite direction, like up the slanted aisle of the viewing room for a few inches. Oops. You said the classically handsome man on the screen was mirroring my movement. Does he move closer in frame when I move? Okay.
Yes.
I think it's my job to answer why I can't look away, and not just to act that. But I think Ames keeps walking, and then, of course, as frames work, this person like reaching out and getting very, very close to a lens, and then also doing the same thing probably looks really weird. But I think Ames like reaches out and like touches the screen and almost expects to merge into it. I think it's something is like really magnetic.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I cannot look away. I may not have been drawn to into this mansion, but I'm drawn now to something.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I think when you reach for the screen, like, do you place your hand on it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely
great.
that weird, like you know how sometimes people will like look into a mirror and they're like not sure if the mirror is them or if it's somebody else or something, or the mirror isn't them. Like, is this a window or a mirror? Because you're doing what I'm doing. And I know it doesn't necessarily work like that because projection and scale, but that's still the weird thing Ames is doing, being like, I'm pulled here. Am I going to be pulled into this?
Yeah. Yeah. So the figure on the screen has gotten bigger, like as they move towards the lens. And you put your hand on the screen, and their hand is huge at this point, right? Like as they put it up, it's a lot of the screen, but you can still like see their face, see his face, and his hand wraps around yours.
Oh.
And you have a moment where he's about to pull you into the screen. and you have a moment where you could try to slip your hand out. And do you?
I think Ames looks back over his shoulder for Melly, and Melly somewhere else, and I think like brows furrow for a moment and then turns back and I think pulls on like you know when someone puts a hand down to like pull you up and you have to like also pull on their hand? Yeah, I think that's what Ames is leaning into it.
Okay. The handsome fellow smiles broadly and pulls you into the screen. And you can see on I think like a very old TV set. It's just an image of the like theater room that you were in, and you can like see your hoverboard and on it, you know, and just kind of chilling out. And as you come through, like you and this guy are essentially the same size. Like he's normal sized again, and you're just in this fancy house. And I think the color scheme is still like the same. Like it's still, everything looks like it is has been like recolored, you know. It's Technicolor. It's like some stuff's too vibrant, some stuff is just not quite what it should be. Yeah. And I think he just says, I'm so glad that you accepted my invitation. What would you like to see first? We have the orchards, or the recreation room, or I could introduce you to the family.
The family?
Ah, great choice. A bold move. Clapped you on the back. And then I think you stride out of the room, and I think, and then you're at the top of these, like you exit the room and are at the top of like these like double stairs, you know, like so there's a railing right in front of you, and it's kind of like a hall that goes. It's not really a hall, I guess, but it's like a little pathway that goes both ways, and then it goes down into stairs, kind of going down both sides. I'm sure there's a real word for that, but
yeah, I might have a reference image. I have to type that.
Like in fancy mansions in England, especially back in the day.
Yeah, I've been to lots of mansions. Ask me anything.
Yeah.
The ones that are open to the public. I don't know that many rich people.
Yeah.
Right. This one swoops back around, but when it loads, it's like a big round balustrade's not it. I think that's the name for the railing. Yeah. Wow. Can we load? Yes. Okay. You're gonna do it. That's super extra, but the 2 staircases, is that?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's incredible. Perfect.
I was playing a game where I was a god, and someone was it had very similar tower energies. It was a game of La Sibylla. It was very fun.
That sounds great. Yeah. So he starts leading you down this elaborate staircase, and you can hear like just kind of chatter, like, you know, distant multiple voices in conversation, you know, where you can't quite make out what they're saying, but you can tell there's lots of people. Mm-hmm. And I think this person just starts talking to you like they've known you a long time, like he's known you a long time, and even like asks you some questions that show like a familiarity with you. Like they're like how's your band going?
uh, okay, so I have a pitch. Because one of my first thoughts was like, yeah, we've almost got our first song written.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's more like, yeah, we've written a few songs. We might almost have enough for an album, and maybe after we find Melly's guitar pick, we can, if we might get a gig and then go on tour. I don't. Four says I'm getting really good at keeping the beat.
Ah, I knew you had it. You were so worried for so long. Now, come on. We just have to go this way. You can hear them in the other room. Now, a guitar pick, you say?
Yeah, Melly lost it. And we kind of need it to make more songs.
I don't know much about that, but perhaps someone else does. And I think, yeah, so you go through down the stairs and into this whole sitting room, and there's something like, I think there's like 10 people in this room, all dressed very fancy, suits and dresses, and sitting around and chatting, and they all have fancy looking drinks. And I think when you walk in, there's like a pedestal with like a tray, and it's got more drinks on it, and this guy takes one and hands you one, and then just kind of clears his throat. Family, I would like to introduce you all to my dear friend, excuse me, Ames. And they all like raise their glasses. Ames has so graciously accepted my invitation to live with us from now on. Yep, and we'll cut away from there. Let's see, and go back to the library. Yeah. Okay. So I think you've been reading these words written darkly, and they've been seeping in, and the elongated figure behind you is just, I think their face is impassive, but they're just kind of nodding slowly, as you're kind of transfixed by these words. And And I think you're suddenly filled with um hmm, you're filled with like I guess like a new curiosity about how everything works, and how you're sure that if you could just um, take things apart in just the right way, you would know everything. Um, and it's not even a matter of trying to figure out what that just the right way is. You know what it is, and those secrets are contained within the living. You must take apart living things and examine to find out how everything works.
Huh, that sounds like
and
fun.
I think yeah. And the scientist just nods. And I feel like, and you just like kind of have a bit of a drive for that, I guess. Like there's this curiosity that's opened up in you that didn't exist before. This want. Yeah. So. Yeah. So what do you do? And I think as you read it, actually, the paper itself, like the words in the paper, kind of like literally seep into your hands.
Oh yeah, it's
and
cool
the message,
too now.
like if you hold your hands together, like you can still read it, but it just like exists on your palms.
Well, that just sounds neat. I think Melly is now more calm than she was originally, and definitely will want to go searching through the library to find some books about biology, because she has a new drive to find the perfect song.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we get you doing that, moving through the library, and I think it's framed where the tall scientist apparition always like immediately behind you, and if you turn around, they're still just immediately behind you. Like I think at this point it's just impossible for you to see them.
I don't even think Melly knows.
And,
I think this is just
right.
something
No,
he's
right.
thinking about.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's, yep. Right. And you're going through this library, and I think as you walk, the doorway that you came through vanishes, and the like at first it just gets farther and farther away, and then like if you look back, it just feels like there's spaces, bookshelves just all the way back. You just can't see a doorway in any direction. You're just like in this eternal library.
That makes sense. I mean, all I want to do now is look up more books to learn more. So more
yeah. So
libraries.
do we just like get you like sitting at a table surrounded by books, or do we get you just like? Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, great, good. Cool. And just like kind of humming to yourself or something.
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. It definitely, it's like see like different books, different hum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And all the while the tall apparition is just looking over your shoulder and just nodding with a stoic face. Good. Great. Let's go to the greenhouse.
Hi.
Hey. So yeah, so you're with this old lady. And I think like when we rejoin for the you're helping repot another plant. What kind of plant is it? Do you think? You can go as broad or as specific as you want.
I'm trying to decide how sinister this vibe is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're probably starting gentle. So I'm going to say it's a fan palm.
Okay.
So like quite
yeah.
big. I think it's quite a big fan palm, but it's nothing too aggressive looking.
Yeah. And I think she just says, "Oh, great job! You are doing so well. Now, something that always comes to mind. The reason that I love gardening, even after all these years, and seeing so many people come and go, and so many plants grow and wither, is remembering just how everything is part of everything else. The life that you have just given a little bit of that to this plant, and now it has a little bit more room to grow. Without each other, we would all fail. That is what I hold on to even in these late days." She just smiles at you.
Nod, earnest, serious face.
She just kind of laughs, says, "You must be tired after so much work. Would you care for some refreshments?"
Please, that's very kind.
All right, just follow me this way. And I think yeah. So she leads you through out the other end of the greenhouse, which takes a while to get to. A long greenhouse. Well, actually, you tell me, what kind of room is this? Is it like a kitchen or like another kind of like sitting room area or like dining room thing or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of conservatory dining room type thing. So it's still like significantly glass exterior, but obviously a distinct room.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a picture in mind, but yeah, like at a certain point, there's still glass, but there stop being quite as many plants.
Yeah, and maybe there's like a table and chairs that are made to be outside, like they're like almost like cast iron, not cast iron, but like
Wrought iron.
just like solid metal wrought iron.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, I think it's just and it's like painted white. There's a potted like flower in the center of the table. And I think like now that you're in a room with less plants and still a lot of light, you can see like the light passing through this old lady. And she goes to I don't think it's a cabinet, because I think that there's just like so much like glass that none of it's that. But there's like a standing like hutch kind of thing, and it's also painted white, and it's on like these little or these like metal legs, like with like claw feet, like a bathtub.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah. So, and then she opens it and brings over some crackers and some cheese, and like some fresh looking berries, and sets them in front of you, and then goes back and brings you like a glass of water, and just sits down across from you and waits.
Thank you so much, and begins eating and drinking.
Mm-hmm. And I think she just like kind of watches you like a little too carefully, similar to like how in Pirates of the Caribbean the the dead captain watches, like watches you enjoy these things.
This is kind of fun because like all of this is lost on 4. It doesn't it doesn't notice anything.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, it's registered that it can see through the lady, and just kind of this fact about my environment has been noted, but does not seem perturbed at all.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll just yeah. So I think the camera shows like a straight on shot of the old lady, light coming through, this kind of intense look on her face, watching your hand go to the plate and up to your mouth, but we're just seeing her eyes move, and then we cut back to you just like blissfully enjoying the snack.
It's enjoying it very much.
Yeah. And then we'll cut to Hum. You've got your fried pickles in front of you and the gin and tonic, and I think we jump into the unicorn robot bartender finishing up telling you a story. And that's why none of the rooms are allowed to be painted pink.
Hum is loudly crunching on the pickles.
Now,
wow, that's amazing. I would have expected pink eventually.
Yes, well, I know that this house is rather large, but the master decided that it could never, ever Pink. Well, after that incident, I'm sure you understand.
It's fairly understandable. Hey, Unibot?
Yes?
Tell me a secret.
Leans in. What kind of secret?
How did you get here?
I know lots of secrets. Oh, how did I get here? Well, I'm afraid that's not much of a secret at all. I was built right here. Yeah, for this job. That's the truth of it. Before
Was
that,
I built?
I just didn't exist. Well, I should say so. How else would you have come into the world? Here, turn around. I'll find your manufacturer.
Hum turns around.
They like, pull down like the collar at the back of your shirt, and you can feel this their finger going like across, like I guess like the just like the base of your neck, like feeling for something, like kind of poking and prodding and like rubbing up and down, and
I don't think I have a switch.
This is, huh?
I don't think I have a switch.
What'd you say? I'm looking for a switch. I'm looking just for who made you. This is very interesting. Yes. Well, I haven't seen someone from your of your make in a very long time. I thought they had shut that down so long ago. I didn't know there were any of you still operating in the world. This is very, very curious. Let's see. No, I don't like that.
What happened?
Oh, I'm just thinking.
Sometimes you have an idea, and then you're like, no, that's not the right idea for this.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
I think at this
Do
point,
the words Wellspring Labs mean anything to you?
Hum makes a very serious thinking face. I don't remember if they do.
Well, I'm not surprised by that, but that is where you were manufactured. It's where you were built. Is there anything else? Any other secrets you'd like to know? Leans in.
Where are all my siblings at?
Oh, I'm afraid they are quite lost. Each and
Am I
every one.
lost?
Looks at you seriously, like a robot. And says, I think you most of all. All right. That's a whole round. Let me see. I'm going to use one of my tokens to do something. We'll see our jar of jam. I'm a red pepper jar of jam. I'm good buddies with a wriggling mass in a glass case and an AI program. So I'm going to have a conversation with one of my contacts, the wriggling mass. Wants to be a wriggling mass.
I would like to be a wriggling mass.
Wonderful. Cool. Let's see. I'm just going to call you Wriggles. Wriggles? Wriggles? Are you awake?
On a scale of Bloodborne to Steven Universe, how terrifying is Wriggles?
Oh,
For unrelated reasons, I immediately heard wriggling mass in a glass case and thought of Shape of Water. And Ape Sapien, just in general.
Yeah.
I would say we're a 6 out of 10 on the Steven Universe to Bloodborne scale. So yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I am now.
No. I see. Well, we seem to have some visitors. Have you noticed?
Yes, they're very annoying.
I know. I thought when we installed the never hardening cement, we would never have this kind of trouble again. But they always find a way in. And well, I mean, the house always takes care of them.
I did tell you to consider spikes next time.
Well, I guess we could add those. Yeah, they always find a way, don't they?
I don't know how they do it.
Yes, well, pests will always just find a way to infest places you never want them to. And it's just, yes, spikes, huh? Well, I will talk to the AI. I'm sure there's something we could make them out of here.
Maybe at least they have something good in their pockets.
Oh, yes. We just have to get them talking about the house so they'll disappear. You know, that stuff always ends up on my shelf.
I think the camera pans out a little bit and we see the keytar pick next to the jar of jam. Okay. That was the scene. I spent a token. It's gone. All right. Let's see. All right. So, Ames, you're in with the family. Most of them look like regular people.
Most of them.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to go find my note that I wrote down so I could mostly pay attention to y'all because that was some good content. It is my tactic to be like, all right, here's what I'm going to do next. And now listen. When everyone raises their glasses together, Ames did too, thinking everyone was going to take a drink. So he did that. But he lowered his glass and didn't swallow when the completely normal, classically handsome man started talking, toasting. But when he said chosen to live with us, Ames like gulps, swallows, and like kind of splutters. He's fine, but like clearly, if this was a conversation over food, I made a social blunder. I didn't say I was gonna live here. What about my siblings? They need me.
We are your family now.
That's not how family
broadly,
works.
Looks embarrassed.
Family only gets bigger.
The people in the room look like a little put off. All of them do.
The in-laws already.
A couple of them stand up. Everybody was seated.
Now, can't we talk about this later? This is. Why did you have to bring this up in front of my family? We can discuss all the details at another time. Look,
something isn't true. You should find the truth. You should correct that.
Yes, but not so loudly. Not right here, right now. Can't we?
Now's as good a time as any.
It's not. Drink your drink. Come and meet everybody else, and we will discuss this later.
There's murmurs from the family. They're all looking at us and oh, hushed, shocked tones.
I think Ames looks at his glass, downs the whole thing, and then looks at the completely normal, classically handsome man, makes eye contact and says, "It's later."
Grabs you by the elbow and turns you around and says, looks over there, his shoulder back to the family.
So sorry. Please excuse us for a moment.
And pulls you out. And the room it's different. There's no staircase. It's a flat. It's a long hallway with a short ceiling. And just starts angrily walking you down the hallway, sputtering and talking about how you embarrassed him and you shouldn't have taken his hand if you didn't want to stay here. Like it was a conversation that you've already had.
You knew what you were getting yourself into when you came through. We've been talking about it for so long. I thought you had finally made up your mind, and then as soon as I introduced you to my family, you have to go and embarrass me. Why, after all we've been through, would you treat me so poorly?
And I think the ceiling's getting lower, imperceptibly. You can't see it getting lower, but you can tell it's lower. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Ames tilts his head very sideways. You know an awful lot about me, and I don't know anything about you. I don't remember these conversations.
And he just looks hurt.
How can you not remember? I hired a tutor for you for the percussion. We went riding together all last summer. I can't believe you can't remember.
here, come here, and opens a door and like has to like it's small and has to like crawl through it. And they're on the other side, and it's like much brighter on the other side. It was kind of like a dark hallway. Come on, there's not much time left. The hall is still shrinking.
Like Ames like looks at the hallway, looks at himself, like kind of bends his knees a little, and like sighs, and then goes through the doorway.
Yeah.
How long can I hold out? I can be small. I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah. What is this room or area? Where are you? Dang.
I think we emerge into a building at the edge of the orchard. Well, we've emerged from a building, is what it looks like.
Okay.
To the edge of the orchard.
You're in the orchard. Yeah.
Like an apple barn or something, if you turn around and like look, I think is what's behind us.
Yeah.
And it's bright, and I don't think the weather is like what it's been.
No.
I think it's like a cold fall day, like when it's bright and cold, and you're like, maybe I should need a jacket, but a t-shirt is fine if I'm not out here long.
Right.
Ames is definitely wearing a t-shirt, but he probably has a flannel tied around his waist, and cargo pants because a vibe. Sometimes the future is just the 90s.
Sometimes the future is just the 90s. All the trees are growing. It's actually that glass that you had, the fancy glass with the drink in it. That's exactly what's growing from these trees. It's like they have little caps, and they're just there's just glasses growing from the trees with liquid sloshing around inside of them. So like when the wind blows, it like sloshes around these liquids, and you can just see these cocktails
Just puts
growing
a
from
hand on his
trees.
stomach and just stares at the trees for a minute.
Yeah. And we're back in the library.
Yay! So,
What are you up to?
so I think you see at this point like just books piled on top of a desk, and like the camera pans down, and it's like just animal upon animal. You see like a lion, you see a goat, a snake, and then like you see on like the farther right, like myths and stuff, and you see like a dragon. And
Yeah.
you kind of like in kind of going back down to the whole future bit. There's like a very small, like key set of keys, like looks like a keyboard, both, but like a more like an actual like mechanical keyboard as opposed to like a piano keys.
Oh, sure.
But you can, but it's definitely like something that Melly has because it helps one practice playing like a guitar, but also is like every time she hits something like music plays, and then she's like kind of moving books around until like the goat, the lion, the dragon, and this like the snake are kind of like touching four corners like the pages, and she's just like, so metal, and then kind of snaps out of it whatever like haze she was in. Metal, that's the new song, and immediately like realizes she's now in a library. And
yeah,
she definitely like aim for where's everyone?
Wonderful. And I think at that exact moment, I think like during that whole scene, the the looming figure wasn't behind you, and we cut to this like a security keypad almost, on the wall. Like I think it's like we can see it in the shot that we were seeing you in. It's just kind of like back against a wall, and numbers begin being pressed into it, and the table you're at and your chair, like all the chairs, that you're on, that are on the table, just kind of drop into another room. And just, it's not like so abrupt that it like hurts or anything. Like I think it just moves quickly, but it's like it's still controlled, and now you're in what's essentially a zoo underneath the library. And there's all kinds of animals. What are their enclosures like?
I think the enclosures are, depending on the animal, almost exactly what you would expect. Like, the goats is like a petting zoo. Like, it just looks like just like the very minimalistic like wire fence that easily could be jumped over or by the goats, but like never are by some chance. But like it's like a tiger pit, and that is like a full-blown zoo. Like it looks exactly like how you would imagine, like despite the fact it's underground, but yet it feels like there's even like a plaque where it's like information about tigers.
Yeah. And you can probably, since it is the future, you can swipe, on the on the plaque to get like different information. Yeah.
But like there's also like there's like the aquarium, and that one looks like it's straight out the 70s, the typeface and everything.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think we just get you like kind of wandering through. I think there's like a weird amount of like sunlight in here for being like you can't quite tell where it's coming from, but it's like warm and it's like on the animals that need it and all that. And you're just kind of wandering through and I think now there's two figures behind you. There's the tall one we knew from before, and then there's I guess just another is a fairly standard sized person, just in coveralls and just like these dark blue coveralls. They've got a name tag on, but you can't quite make it out. Like the camera hasn't shown it clearly or whatever. And they just don't have a face. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But they're just both following you down as you kind of observe stuff.
Melly has not seen any of this, so she cannot.
No.
She's perfectly fine.
Right. Good. Great. Okay. Let's jump back to the greenhouse. So I'm going to do finish up this round, and then we'll take a break here again. But just so you know what I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay. So we're in the greenhouse. I think you have probably finished your snack by now, For. Yeah. And I think, I think the old lady is just sitting there kind of watching you. What do you do?
Aren't you going to have anything?
She kind of laughs and says, eating is beyond me now, dear. It's not something I can do anymore. Smiles wide.
It's a shame. Do you miss it?
Very much. Yes, very much.
If it helps, it was very nice. Thank you very much.
It does help. Thank you.
I think she just like starts to, for lack of a better word, inflate. I think she just gets bigger, but in more of a inflation kind of way than just a size up kind of way.
Clouds is terrified. For just kind of tilts its head slightly to one side and is like, "Oh, okay, this is an interesting development."
Yeah, and I think she just starts taking up the whole room, but somehow is always positioned where like she's making eye contact. So it's not like her head just like keeps going up. It's like and now and if you don't go anywhere, you're gonna become like contained. Not contained, but she's going to envelop you. Like if you just say sitting at the table, like I think first you could like the hint of that would first be like the chair she's been sitting on gets enveloped, then the like hutch behind and like the table starts to, is partially enveloped, and it's just like in this whole time she's making eye contact.
I think Four kind of calmly stands up and says, "It looks like you need a bit more space. I'm going to leave you to it," and calmly strolls out of the room, giving a friendly little wave at the door.
Good. I think she just kind of growls. And you're in the greenhouse. Blissfully strolling through. And in the background,
weird.
we just see like an enormous eye. Yeah. Like watching you go back.
I think Four makes its way back to the hallway and decides it's time to find everyone else.
Okay. How do you go about doing that? Actually, here, I'm going to spend another token. One of the things I can do is there it is. Indirectly help one of the visitors find their way. I think the jar of jam is just thinking, maybe if I guide them out, they'll leave. If I can get them back together, maybe they'll go. And just so I think we just see the jar of jam chatting with the AI for a second, and then a hand drops down from the ceiling again and starts leading you. Roll D3, and let's find out who the hand is going to lead you to. Ames is 1, Hum is 2, and Melly is 3.
It's got me to Ames, which is interesting.
Yep. I think what that looks like is yeah, so we'll just do this. I think you're in the you make your way to the ballroom and then into the theater room. And as you walk into the room, oh, here's what it is. You walk into the room, and on the screen is the orchard, and you can see Ames. And Ames, all of a sudden, there's a TV in the orchard for some reason. This old TV, and you can see the theater and 4 on it. But all of a sudden, the guy you're with is acting strange. And 4, as you come into the room, you see this classically handsome guy in a suit in a oddly colored world, mirroring your movements. And let's go to Hum.
Okay.
What are you doing right now? What are you up to?
How menacing is this unicorn robot?
I think on this, compared to everything else we've seen, not at all. I think they've just been helpful. Like, they've told you some unsettling news, but I think they themselves seem more just like here to help than directly menacing.
Looks at the robot and tries to make a like sympathetic robot like face. Can you take me to the master?
I think they'd been kind of like leaning in and like conspiratorial like conversation with you, and when you ask that, they straighten up, stand up, and kind of turn their head and gaze in the other direction, like not the one you came from, and just stand there kind of unmoving for a few minutes, and then looks back at you and just says, "I have put in a request. We should hear back momentarily." And then they like gaze off into that distance, into that direction for a little bit longer. And I think by this time, like, there's like 2 empty glasses and a third one that like has another gin and tonic on the table or on the bar in front of you. And after a few more minutes, they look back and say, "The master would be delighted to see you. I cannot take you there myself, for it is my duty to stay here. But we will find you a guide." And a hand comes down from the ceiling and, tries to take your hand.
Okay.
Robo Unicorn like gestures to it. "Follow. Go ahead. They will take you to the master."
Hum grabs the hand.
Mm-hmm. And it starts guiding you gently. This part of the house is very like, the big wooden doors ornately carved. I mean, that's probably what a lot of it is, but and then it guides you through. How long do you think it takes you to get? How long do you think it guides you for, like through hallways and other rooms? Like, kind of just take the reins for a second and describe.
I think it does take me through a couple hallways and other rooms, and then like we're brought downstairs for a while, and then like around, and then upstairs again, to the point where like I'm not sure what direction we're facing anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
I think
and then
the last
go
room
ahead.
is very dusty and full of many things.
Oh, interesting. That is interesting. Okay. I think you come in and I think the hand guides you through the door, and then like I imagine you keep walking and
Face the hand before,
like the hand won't go any farther than the doorway, and so it lets go, and if you also let go, then it retreats. So I think it's like, there's a big room, it's dusty, and it's just like full of stuff. I'm picturing like unnaturally high stacks of books, but also just like other random things, just like an old rocking horse, like old bottles and carved, just like all these like carved wooden things and like whittled, and like buildings and characters and all this stuff. And I think I think you can see like a soft glow coming from one side of the room, and it's not like it's just a glow by itself. It's you just can't quite see what is making it, because of all the stuff in your way. So and I think this room is darker than all the other ones have been. I think the house is weirdly like lit, like it's surprisingly well lit for
I think
being a old haunted house.
Climbs the barrier stuff.
Okay. Yeah. And once you get over it, there's an enormous fireplace, and there's a fire going. And there's an enormous winged back chair facing the fireplace, and above the wingback chair, you can see, kind of poking over the top, these two long furry ears. And let's take a break. So you guys want, how long of a break you guys wanting? 5 minutes longer?
I think I'm good with 5.
A little bit longer, maybe like 10.
10? Okay, cool. Just come back at 50 again.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, cool. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Now recording. Now recording. Now recording. Now recording. Now recording.
All right, and we're back. Hope everybody's having a good time so far. Thanks for watching and hanging out. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so let's pick up with Ames. So Ames, you see 4 on the TV, and the gentleman you're with is mirroring its movements. And what do you do? Actually, at this point, yeah, describe what you do, but this can be a scene for the both of you at this point. Mm-hmm.
My sibling is here.
Big cheery wave.
You know how some people have secret handshakes that are overly elaborate?
Yeah.
I think Ames has a slightly more elaborate wave.
Nice.
Like involves finger guns. Like a hit tap.
Of course it involves finger guns. Obviously it involves finger guns.
I think they're different for all 3 of you. Similar elements,
I love
just like a
that.
different order, basically.
Uh-huh.
So I proposed something in chat earlier that I wanted to kind of say for an appropriate moment. And Weston, like, tell me if you're happy for me to bring this in. But I had an idea that when Ames went through the screen, it kind of reversed the gravity.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
So I think what Ames sees is for trying to approach the screen and suddenly having a lot of difficulty moving and getting very, very upset. I think this is probably the first time you've seen like a really obvious display of emotion from 4. At least like, you know, since the start of the events of the game.
Ames is visibly distressed at your visible distress.
Mm-hmm.
What's our extremely normal pal doing?
Yeah. Also looks extremely distressed, of course. Yeah, and continuing to mirror 4's movements.
Why can't 4 come in?
So definitely waved enthusiastically when you did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's still like struggling against the gravity, trying to get to you. But it's having a really, really hard time.
I go over and I tap this extremely normal man on the shoulder. Why can't 4 come in?
And I don't think you get any response. They're still just locked in this mirroring. Has 4 put their hand on the screen? Is that?
I don't think it's quite there yet. It's trying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, right. But you're feeling pushed away, right? Like a magnet turned on its polarity.
Yeah, like the magnet reverse polarities, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. How interesting. Yeah. The hoverboard's just like chilling in the background. Yeah. So I think like this perfectly normal person is like looks like they're straining against nothing as well. Yeah.
I
Yeah. So I
reach
guess like what
out.
does?
Oh, yeah. I want to reach out and like try to grab Ames's hand. I'm Ames. I do this all the time. Usually I call my character someone else's character's name. I reach for Four's hand. I think Ames himself isn't really sure if he's wants Four to pull him out or if he wants to pull Four in, because he wasn't really happy being here. But he does want to be in the same place as Four.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Clouds, what do you think happens when the two of you grab hands? Because I think so. What happens is as Ames reaches, your hand goes through the TV, but it's gigantic. Similar to what we saw before, and I think your hand. Well, what do? Do you like grab Four's whole arm or what?
I try to, yeah. This is up to you, obviously, but I wonder if something happens to our friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's like as you reach forward. Yeah, this is odd because you're not really all the way to the screen. Four isn't. Ames is reaching through for you. So I think what we see is the guy just a little behind Ames with his arm reached out as though interacting with Ames, but isn't. So Clouds, with the reverse polarity thing, what do you think happens when you two actually touch?
I think we end up in the same place, and I'm open to that being either side of the screen. But we're kind of explosively forced apart.
Okay. Cool. Which side do you want that to be? The two of you.
Yeah.
What do you reckon's more interesting, Blue?
I typed in chat coin toss.
All right.
I have a coin flip server. I have Carl in my server, and I can ask him to do a coin flip, and then I will share that answer with you.
You can just do a
D2s always confuse me, mostly because it's just like heads and tails, and it's like, okay, but did you decide what heads and tails was?
One is always heads, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do a very similar thing. But still, some manage to get confused. Firebrands is fun. Okay, but yeah, we could do one is Ames and 2 is 4. There we go. You can see my logic for why I assigned that.
Yes.
As I managed to struggle to say the word. All right, cool.
Okay.
The coins say I'm free, maybe.
Yeah.
Watch the inception happen.
Back at opposite ends of the same room, then.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, I think you're both like a little dazed after that. Thrown against the wall pretty hard, but you are back in the theater. And the finely dressed gentleman is in there too. Yeah.
That tracks. I know how video games work.
Sitting next to 4. Yep.
Oh no.
Still mirroring movements.
Unsettling.
That.
Yeah. Do we want to circle around, or like I have a thought? I just don't want to give opportunities.
Yeah. Let's jump to the next, and then I think we'll probably end up going 2 rounds before we figure out what the wrap up stuff looks like. Since you two are together now, that speeds things up a little bit. Okay. So let's go to the zoo. Melly, what are you doing?
I think Melly is at this point trying to find a way out because she's found the answer to our group's next big single, and the last song that we need to finish the album. But she is definitely getting distracted a little bit by like the animals. Like she'll be walking and then like she sees cute penguins and then kind of watches the cute penguins for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then like with the camera up, probably like always cutting to like the two people behind her. That she clearly cannot see, but she's definitely still trying to get out of the zoo.
Yeah. I think like what we can also see is those two having a conversation that we can't hear. Like they're discussing and they're gesturing at you and they're just nodding at each other. Both their faces are just like solemn and blank.
Wait, is Millie a attraction in the zoo?
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, kind of, but not in the sense that, not in the regular sense. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So you're like kind of lazily trying to find a way out. So what I understand, you're not like in a big hurry. You're like, yeah, if I could, that'd be great, but you know. Yeah, so I think it takes you a long time to find any kind of direction out. The zoo goes on and on. It's got different pathways that go all over the place, you know, like a regular zoo. Like you can go lots of different directions. You end up in the reptile house for a while, you know, like all that kind of stuff. And I think eventually you just see a big door that says exit.
Perfect. I'm just going to open this door.
Great. You're in a big dusty room with a fireplace. And there's a really big armchair with a huge creature with big long ears, dressed in corduroy overalls. It's like a furry blue beast with long furry ears and little horn nubbins and a bit of a snout, and it's just taking a nap in this chair, and standing on top of a pile of junk, you see Hum.
Does anything look like the Keytar pick in the pile of junk?
No. I mean, there might be stuff you think looks kind of like it, but as you get closer, it's like a discarded piece of wood or whatever.
That's not good. Yeah, Millie's gonna try to sneak because she notices that creature is asleep. So she's gonna try to sneak past it.
Okay.
Because is there a door or somewhere or a pathway outside of this room that she can see?
Yeah. What's your reaction when you see Melly come into the room?
Hum waves frantically from atop the pile of junk. It's the corresponding secret wave.
Oh. Millie waves back. And then, like, whispering, like, I didn't see you here. Where have you been?
I was with the bartender. This creature is the master of the house. They don't like the rooms being pink. And then she pulls out like a pink stick of chalk from her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I have a good idea for a song. So let's leave? I mean, I can find another pick. Did you find the pick?
She shakes her head.
We should find 4 in Ames. It's like, as she's like eyeing the master of the house.
We should talk to the master. I'm expected.
I think Millie's at this point starting to like revert back to the normal way of things, and it's like, okay, we can do that, I guess.
Hum approaches the chair and then just like gently rocks it.
Okay. Yeah, I think the big creature just does like a sleepy blink, and then kind of looks around and sees you standing there, and just I think fixes its big eyes on you. Yeah. Doesn't
Friend, have you seen Millie's guitar pick? It looks like a finger.
There's just like I think there's just like a loud, like low, like kind of rumble that comes from the creature. It's just like a but it kind of like shakes things a little bit. Like a few of the some stuff falls off of stacks and things like that. And it holds up like one of its huge hands and like points at one of its fingers and like looks at you.
She takes its finger.
Huh?
She takes its
What'd you
finger.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure this is fine.
Yeah. I think
Suspicious.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you grab on to its finger, and I think like it like weirdly just like let's see. It comes off like pulling a marshmallow apart. Yeah. And then it's huge, you know. It's like, I mean, not like you can't hold it, but it's like 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 a body pillow size, you know. I'm sure it'll work great. You know, and so like as you pull it off, the hand just like it doesn't like, it's not like it bleeds or anything. So now you just have a big blue finger, and it's just looking at you.
Hooray!
Thank you. Let's go practice our song, Millie. And then she like grabs her hand and pulls her, and then there's like there's a big fire, like a firefighter pole going from the ceiling all the way down.
Great. So you get on the firefighter pole and go down? Like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if Millie wants to come with.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Do you still have the finger?
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
Okay, great. Good. Yeah, I think as you go and slide down, we just see the creature fall back asleep, and we can see a little bit of a nub like starting to grow where like the finger came off. It just goes back to sleep. Great. What kind of room do you land in?
Finger?
It's strangely musical. Great. Good. Tell me what kind of room you land in, and then we'll go back to the other pair.
I think the room we're in is like that big spiraling staircase room that I believe 4 was in earlier.
I think Ames might have been in that room.
Oh yeah, Ames then. Ames was in earlier. The big spiraling staircase that's like godlike.
The one that's inside the movie?
Yeah, except this one isn't. But I think
this one is
exactly
not in the movie, but it's
same.
exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah, so we see you
house you're already in.
land at the top of those. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I've been
okay.
worried about
And now we're
fun and good.
Yeah. We're well past worried. Okay, great. So now for an Ames, got the two of you and the well-dressed gentleman mirroring everything that 4 does. And now it's not so much mirroring as it is just directly copying.
Is there a delay, or is it happening at exactly the same time?
It's an imperceptible like delay, like half a second. So it's not. So I guess it's perceptible, but it's very small.
Ames, who is this?
He knows me, but I don't know him. I think like Ames at least tries to go back over to 4. Maybe coming back has fixed the polarities despite the explosive response. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And I think that I put myself between 4 and this person. Like,
oh, interesting.
Yep, I'm standing between. I think I'm facing the totally normal, classically handsome man who's incredibly confusing. And I have my back to 4 very protectively.
Aw.
Yeah. So he has his back to you because I imagine 4 is facing you. And so they're all, it's like a chain. But I think the polarity is doing something weird with you standing in between them. Like, I think it was tough for you to get in there. And now that you are, you're kind of stuck.
I
You're
mean,
being held in place by their two polarity things.
yeah, 'cause my
yeah.
polarity might be fixed, but theirs isn't. He can. Yep. All right. Those are some vibes.
This is fine.
So, or what are you doing?
I think 4 is kind of 4 gets a memory, and I think it on screen in this weird movie that we're creating, it manifests as a flashback of the old ghost lady telling it about how things are interconnected and like we need each other. And 4 suddenly remembers that and starts desperately struggling back towards Ames.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll to lose something?
Please. Yes, please. Roll to lose.
A piece of yourself. Oh no.
Okay. Oh.
Do you
What
have
did
an
you
idea?
roll?
I have a
Well,
terrible
it's
idea
actually-
because we're all siblings with this powerful
So it's
bond.
I think you're looking at the phase 1.
Am I?
Yeah,
sorry.
because I think so. Because you
Let
rolled a
me try
2,
again.
so it's a lock of hair stolen.
Right. Am I looking at the wrong thing?
Page 17. Roll to lose. Your pursuers, a piece of yourself, your certainty, individuality.
Yeah,
Oh, am I looking at the wrong one?
you might be looking at the wrong one.
I am. I'm
What was
looking
your
at
idea?
page 3.
A very understandable.
Yeah, I just got too far down. Yep. Piece of yourself. Okay. Ames, you had an idea?
You know how people who care about their siblings are like, I love them. It's not just because they're my sibling, it's because they're like part of me. And we're all doppelgangers and kind of look alike. Or at least look related at this point.
Okay. I think I have something that can go up in this.
All right. Yeah, take my half a pitch and have an idea. I believe in you.
Its features start to blur.
Okay.
It's losing its face.
Yeah. Good.
Ames has continually been like looking back over their shoulder to check on 4. And yeah. Horror on Ames's face.
Body language continues to be extremely distressed.
Yeah. As does the handsome gentleman. No longer has a face. The camera shows that. None of you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Great. Yeah, I think your edges become less defined too. Like you're just like kind of blurry around the edges, and like your face has been like essentially like smudged out almost,
Yeah.
Like chalk.
Yeah. Yep. Just like that. Ames, what are you doing? I guess you're stuck, but you could like say something.
Or what's happening? Are you okay?
I think actually as it gets blurrier, the hold on you weakens. Like you're not stuck anymore. Like it's like you feel like you're moving through jello while you're in between them, but you can move again.
Yeah. I think Ames seeing 4 get blurry in this really weird way has like turned around and like reaches for 4's hands.
4 reaches back blurrily.
Uh-huh.
Are you okay?
Help.
I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna grab/drag my friend, my sibling, out of this theater room and try to get on my hoverboard and scoot away.
Cool. I think like while you have contact with it, you can see it clearly. But if you let go, it'll go back to blurry. But as you go away, the once handsome gentleman is stuck in place. I think he's mirroring the movements or copying the movements of 4 still, but in one spot, no longer moving with you.
Okay.
Yep. So let's do that, and now let's go back to the other group. You're at the top of the stairs. Oh, by the way, Hum, there's 2 weird looking figures standing behind Millie.
Behind Millie?
Uh-huh.
How behind?
A real tall, like immediately behind. They're
Does Millie see them?
having a discussion. Millie has never seen them. Yeah, the camera has a whole bunch, but
Approaches them and is like,
uh-huh.
Can I help you?
Millie, you don't know that she's talking to somebody besides you.
Millie turns around. It's like, who are you talking to?
Uh-huh.
Do I see?
And they're
them
like
now, or-
basically like, sure. Actually, I think that's more interesting.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
Millie instantly goes back to exactly where we saw her originally, like behind Hum, like grabbing shirt again.
Yeah.
Millie has powerful vibes.
The scientist one is like taking notes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I think the zookeeper-y one is actually like doing sketches. And they're just like their heads are together and like the zookeeper doesn't have a face, but the you can tell just by how they're moving that both of them are like discussing, like having a conversation about Melly, and maybe both of you now, but but you're being ignored, and you can't hear the conversation. You can just see the scientist's mouth moving, and you can see the other one kind of nodding and like moving like they're talking.
Hum will. I'm not sure how much they react to her, but try to draw a face on the faceless one.
Okay, with what?
My pink chalk.
Pink chalk. Great.
Ooh.
Oh, pink. Good. Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What kind of a face? I think it works. Like it's for some reason it works. What kind of a face? Like a simple like smiley face, or are you going detailed?
3.
Cool. I think the mouth starts, like you can see it move. Like it's like the face you drew is working as a face. Like it's doing face things. And it's like glaring at you. Yep. But they're still taking their notes and doing their sketches. But I think like you can start to hear their conversation, but it's coming through like a whisper from far away. Like you can start to hear the talking, but you still can't understand it. Yeah. What do you do?
I think at this point, with the finger under her arm, she grabs Millie's other hand and then just tries to run out of the room and like literally like run as fast away from the scientists and the zookeeper as they can.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you weren't going to do that, Millie was actually going to take charge and pull.
Okay. Great. Cool. Yeah, I think they just kind of like lazily like follow, but they're not in any hurry. But yeah, cool.
I have an idea of the room.
Yeah.
And like the exit of this room is just this like doorway that's behind the movie screen.
Mm-hmm.
So she just kind of like runs into it, and it's just like, oh man, like a little bit confused.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the idea of like all of you kind of like running into each other. Like, you're running away from these ghosts, and Ames is dragging 4 out of the theater on his hoverboard, and I think you all just like run into each other.
Oh yeah, Scooby do this.
Yeah, Scooby do it. And I think, well, let's get that scene, and then we'll have everybody kind of flip to see if you find the jar of jam, and we'll work towards our ending.
Yeah. I think even though we weren't being followed, Ames is still looking over his shoulder, and I think pushes off, does like a big push, and looks over his shoulder, and then I think do you guys just like turn a corner and crash into me because I'm not looking where I'm driving? Which is not a new problem, I don't think, for Ames.
That feels right. I'm pretty sure Millie at this point has her eyes closed.
Valid.
4 has its face buried in Ames's shoulder.
Look, oh, I'm so glad we found you. I want to leave.
I found a replacement keytar pick. We can leave now.
That's great. 4 is not great.
Leaving is good.
Yes. How do we do that?
I think as you ask that, a couple hands just kind of drop down from the ceiling and open a really big door to the outside. Ending my last token.
I love this. I love this so much. You want to leave? We don't want you here either. Is this where we flip?
Yes, please. Yeah.
I'll go first since I raised the
one is
One
is you find the jar. 2 is you don't.
All right. I almost just typed exclamation 1d2, which is not helpful.
Okay. Nope.
James dashes out the door.
Mhm.
Well, maybe. I don't think Ames goes first.
What?
He gets out.
Okay. 2 and I'm just curious. A 3.
Wait.
Roll a d2.
Though it is fitting
Which
that
just odds and evens it, but that's valid.
That's true.
it's also fitting that Melly's not going to be the one that sees
There
the
it is.
jar.
Okay. So how does this end up? I think we get no, because the jar is like more or less stationary. I mean, it is stationary. So I think
a vision of the jar room. That's what I meant to say at the characters. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I am also listening. I'm just thinking out loud because I do that. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're good. So cool. I think what happens is for and Hum, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. For and Hum, how does this happen? So the big door opens. You're like, heck yeah.
I take a moment. I have an idea. I think I take a moment to offer to draw a face onto 4.
Okay.
It worked once.
I think 4 nods kind of resignedly.
What's the emoji this time?
Let's see.
How many emojis have appeared in Twitch chat?
2 so far.
It's the one I put in Twitch chat.
Sunglasses party hat. I love it. Only the best face for my 4. Thank you for your contributions.
Thanks, chat.
Cool. Yeah, so good. Okay, so you draw a face. And for it works like a face, but it's drawn in chalk. And I think like in this moment, so you've set down this giant blue finger to draw a face. And I think here we go. Yeah, I think the finger kind of rolls away. And bumps into this. It does two things. It rolls away and it bumps into this pedestal with a glass container on it that falls off and shatters. And this wiggly thing evaporates. And then it bumps into this shelf. And there's not much on it. And you've been in this room for a while, and you could have sworn there wasn't a shelf there. But you see a jar of jam. And next to it is a guitar pick. Yeah. And I think as you get closer, let's see, jar of jam, decide how you respond. It's just yeah, you get closer and the jar of jam just says, well, I've opened the door for you. Now get out. Leave at once. I've bared the burden of your company for far too long already, and I am sick of it. You have brought a smell to this place that I will never shake. Please go.
Just asked.
What was that?
You could have just asked.
Well, I'm doing that now.
You took Millie's pick.
Millie spoke of the house. I don't make the rules, I just benefit from them. Here, take it back. Just never speak of this place again. I don't know what it looks like when a jar of jam gestures towards something. Maybe it like scoots slightly in a direction.
I mean, it has the crack, right? So it's a cracked jar, so the jam can amorphously like point.
Okay, great. I think it just like have yeah, no, that's fine. It just kind of points. Yeah. A very sticky point.
I think Four says very sadly, what do I do now?
Oh.
I'm not you anymore.
Well, I don't extend this invitation lightly, but it seems the house has already started to accept you as part of it. You may stay if you like.
What does that mean?
This house is vast and ever growing. If you choose to stay here, there will be no end to the things you can learn and explore. It is a magical and wonderful place if you have been accepted.
and it seems the house has accepted you. You may also choose to leave. I don't know what will happen if you do. I have not ever left. But you are welcome to stay.
Can I suggest something? Which is that the cabinet reforms and 4 is in it now.
Oh, great. Yep, you can. What does that look like?
I'm getting a bit emotional now. Yeah, I think 4 just turns to the 3 of you and says, goodbye then. And kind of there's a flash of something, and then that's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Is 4 still a person or a jam jar as well?
They've taken the place of the wiggling mass.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the glass case now.
Yeah, the glass case is just back. The glass that was all over the floor is gone. Good.
I don't want to leave without you. Or am I not here? I'm not super sure what's happening. I know how Aves would choose based on knowing if somebody decided to. But yeah, or is staying.
Yeah. I think like the shelf is still imperceptible to you. And so is the jar of jam.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at this point Hum could draw attention to what's just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hum yells for help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the two of you were like almost out the door or something.
Yeah. Ames,
Makes sense.
Absolutely turns around. What happened?
They're keeping 4. We can't leave it behind.
We don't leave anyone behind. We stick together. I'm not leaving them. I'm not leaving it. That's not how this works. Family doesn't get smaller, it just gets bigger.
I think Hum tearfully like puts her hand in the glass and is like, it's okay, you don't need a face to sing.
I'm going to respond in a minute. I'm actually crying. Sorry.
No,
don't
you
be sorry. Feelings are allowed.
So is everyone choosing to stay?
Staying. Nobody gets left behind.
What's
and
that?
If anybody Ames is staying, and nobody gets left behind. And if anyone else is going to leave someone behind, Ames would stay with the person who got left behind, because it's like, if you're going to, no one's going to get left behind alone if I can't keep all of you.
Yeah.
So that's Ames's choice.
Okay. What about you other two?
Chris, what's Hum doing?
I think Hum is just like tearfully watching Four in the glass and like doesn't know what to do, and like also won't leave without it.
Well, okay. I guess this makes this simple. I don't know if anybody remembered what I had fully written down under Melly's character.
I
but
vaguely do.
what she's afraid of is being alone. So she stays.
All right.
We all
I
stay.
think like as soon as you all make that decision, you can see the the cabinet, and the jar of jam sitting there, and with it just says, "Well, I see you've made your choices. I don't understand one bit, honestly, but well, you will find your places here. Everyone who chooses to stay does. I'm sure we'll find a need for you. As we do.
I know where my place is. It's with my siblings.
And just like that, you're all in the glass container. But once you're inside of it, it has rooms and doors that lead everywhere. And that's our game.
Took a turn.
Sometimes you become doppelgangers in your family.
And sometimes you end up as the Chuck E. Cheese band in a haunted mansion.
The glass case plays music now, right?
Of course. Like I think as soon as
our band now.
Yeah, as the credits roll on this movie, we like the one-hit wonder of our band starts to play.
Yeah.
People in glass houses.
On the outside, it looks like a music box. You have to wind up to make play. But from the inside, you guys can walk around and do stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so as you play, there's like a handle on the outside that's just like turning, And that's it. That's that. Well, this has been A Life Preserved. And I've been Weston Humphreys. Again, you can find me on Twitter at braverun_WLH. The games I've written at braverun.itch.io, and my Kickstarter by searching for Habits of the Common House Ghost on Kickstarter or anywhere else on the internet. Just if you guys want to do little outro things in the same order that we did at the beginning.
Yeah, sure. I have been Clouds. You can find me on Twitter at The Vicious Pixie, probably crying for the next couple of days. And you can find my games at gamesofabsence.itch.io.
All right. I have been Rook, Blue, or Rowan. I've played Ames. You can find me on Twitter and itch.io at indignant_GXD. Thank you for being here and participating and donating.
Hi, I've been Chris, and you can find me at Twitter at Mr. Shouty, and my current one supplement and future games at Chris Parsoti at itch.io.
And I'm Anthony. You can find me on Twitter at Fool Inc. and have nothing else to plug. So please go and support all of these lovely people as well as everybody else who's made games and participated this weekend.
Yeah, thanks so much for playing, my friends, and thanks so much to everybody who's watched any bit of this, even if that's in the future, if you're watching it later. And thank you to everybody who's donated and made this this live stream charity thing such a big success.
And thank you,
Stay
Emily,
tuned
for making such a
for
good
Wagon
game.
Wheel. Oh yes,
thank you,
Emily.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Wagon Wheel. It's pretty cool. Emily is going to be running that. Actually, we made a little deal. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's us. Thanks.
Cool.
See you around.
Bye.